Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Depends on your time zone, and where you are watching me from. Now, there's a rumor that is making the round now that an elderly woman, an old iyagba, that is in Palace of Ooni of Ife. We know that the Palace of Ooni of Ife contains a lot of people. It's a very big, palace that contains like almost like a mini community. Yes, so because they said it's like people that have been in that palace for years. People have been there for years, decades upon decades upon decades, because those who rule there, who belongs to the royal home, as their time elapses, you still see some of them that are there in the palace. This one come will leave some people and different workers like that, and the place they said is a very big place. Like the palace happens to be a very big mansion, like it has different quarters in the mansion. So with all that put together, they said there's this old royal family woman who happens to be there for years. That they said she's about 100 or thereabout, and they said she can't walk, she can't see anymore, and she is on a wheelchair. That wherever she goes, they wheel her, with her wheelchair. And so this fateful day, they said this elderly mother woman, asked about Queen Naomi, and they told her that Queen Naomi has not returned back to the palace. Of course, they said she was aware that she actually left the palace, since she has not been seeing her coming to see her. Like they said, when Queen Naomi was in the palace, she usually go to see Iyagba. She would go to her chamber, have some time with her, sing with her. These old people, they like those kind of a thing. So at a time, she discovered that she has not been seeing Queen Naomi, and she was like, abeg, where is our queen? And they said the queen, was no longer in the palace, and they said the thing touches the woman so much. She felt it. She was down. She was not happy, and she has to ask Ooni what happened. Why did she leave? And Ooni tell the part of his own story. And they said the Iyagba was not happy at all, upon hearing the news of Queen Naomi's departure from the palace. So with all that put together, they said she has been pressing, she has been asking, when will she return, and they kept telling her she will soon return, like that. Not until this recent incident that happened between Ronke and Deola, where they said Ronke went and removed Queen Naomi's portrait from the Palace of Ooni of Ife. And we know that, the reason why they said Queen Naomi's portrait was there was because the first portrait that was there when Queen Naomi left, the portrait still was removed. Yes, when Queen Naomi left, the portrait was removed. Now that Queen Naomi celebrated her birthday, and it's like Queen Naomi and Ooni has finally come back together. Like Queen Naomi has not returned to the palace, but they have kind of reconciled. They have moved on with whatever differences they had. And they said, now with all that put together, Queen Naomi happens to be a special one right now in Ooni's heart. She is the love of Ooni's life, and she Ooni happens to be the very first man in her life. And with all that put together, now we all know that some men are very proud of that kind of a thing, being the first man in a woman's life, and you happens to be the father of her only son right now. So with all the scenario, and with all the things that happen between Ooni and Queen Naomi, so that love is there. They still share that love. They still in love with one another and all. So that was the reason why they said he brought back Queen Naomi's portrait, because when she saw her photos on a photo shoot on her birthday, in fact, they said the man fell in love again, and she loved those portraits so much that she has to request for 3 of the different portraits, and he even enlarged his own, big, as in they said the portraits were very big, and she put those portraits in walkway, to his chamber, and one and walkway to the Olori's chamber. and they said only put those portrait there where Ronke came and removed them. On that very day, they said there was this festival that was going on in the Ile-Ife, and the palace was very busy, knowing fully well that most of these festival, they will come to the palace and do one or two things. So Ooni was very busy. Every other person were very busy in the palace that fateful day, and Ronke happens to just use that opportunity to remove Queen Naomi's portrait. You are welcome back again to my channel. Nice meeting you here once again. It is my pleasure to have you here. Now, if you are here and you are here to subscribe to my channel, kindly help me hit the subscribe button and also turn on your notification bell. Also, give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much. So, my people, these are the rumor that is making the round now of how, Ronke, remove Queen Naomi's portrait from Ooni's palace, and they said it was Deola that discovered this, and they said Deola asked who did this. She asked until a maiden who saw Ronke removing those things now came up and said actually she will have to just say, since they are asking for who did it, she said she saw Olori Ronke that he saw her when she was removing the portrait, and they said Deola was like, how, why? He now asked Ronke that why did she remove the portrait, and they said Ronke was saying that Queen Naomi is no longer in the palace now. Why will her portrait still be displayed in the palace? And beside, they were all removed, that she does not know who came and replaced them like that, who came and fixed her pictures, her portrait back. And Ronke, they said Deola asked Ronke that, wait, you don't know who put this portrait? Is that what you want to tell me? Even though you did not see when they were fixing them, you think that Ooni is not aware? Somebody will just come from nowhere and fix Queen Naomi's portrait. How is that possible? So even in your heart, you know that it is Ooni that fixed that thing there. Because if it's not Ooni, there is nobody. Nobody can have that God. Nobody can do such if it's not from Ooni. So why are you behaving like this? Why are you pretending, to as if you don't know what is happening? I said she does not know, because as far as she's concerned, Ooni was the one that asked that her portrait should be removed in the first place before they even came to the palace. In fact, it was when they came that Queen Naomi's portrait was even removed. That up till when they came, Queen Naomi's portrait was everywhere, and they have to remove those portraits. Hence, she's no longer in the palace. You understand? And all that. And they said yes, but since he has chosen to replace them back, do you know what that means? I know that you guys know what is happening, but you people are just pretending as if you don't know what is happening. So why will you remove the portrait? They said that was how they started the argument. Before you know, it almost resulted to physical combat between, Deola and Ronke, and they said it was a serious hit, and they were, they now came and separated them, and they said Ooni also intervened and asked Ronke to return those portraits, because as at that time they said Ronke was saying that she does not know that where the portraits are not close by, that she will bring them, but she has not brought them. So now they said that this old woman, who happens to also be from a royal home, who stays in the palace there for decades upon decades, who happens to be about 100 and something years old right now. And they said this old Yagba cannot see and she cannot walk, so she's on wheelchair. So they said when she heard the incident that happened between Deola and Ronke, and how Ronke removed Queen Naomi's portrait from the palace, they said, the woman said, this is a serious matter. That was why they said she asked that she want to see Ooni of Ife, and they wheeled her down to Ooni's chamber, and Ooni came out and sat, and they had a lengthy discussion. They said this old woman was trying to let Ooni know certain things, about all these things that these women are doing to him, that he should not relent, he should not slack, he should make sure he stand his guard. And they said, you now applaud Ooni on one thing, that thank God you don't even have a roster for them. Thank God you don't have a roster whereby this one know that this week you are coming, this one know that I didn't be you have that kind of a roster, maybe they would have get down to you seriously, because they would have known that you are coming to their place, and they will plan one or two things down. Now that nothing of such is on ground, so they see you when they see you, it means they cannot, you always call them unaware. So with that alone, that you've really tried for not letting them know when you are coming to their chamber. The only thing is their own is just to be at alert at any time. When they when they see you, they see you. That he love that aspect, that the way you plan that out. That she wish most men will know this. Men that has more than 1, 2, 3 wives, that always have a schedule for them, that okay, this week I will be in your place, the other week. Those are the men that they can easily get hold of. Yes, these are the men that they can plan something for and it will happen to them. But thank God you are very wise and you refuse not to have a special timetable for either of them. So that alone will not give them chance and room for them to do anything funny. So now they said, with this thing that happened now, it is a serious issue for an Olori to remove another Olori's portrait from the Ooni's chamber palace, and that alone is not a good sign. That Olori has to be dealt with. That Olori has to pay the penalty for going against your will. That it also means that Olori has a very bad intention for the throne, because if you can go against your husband this week just because this woman is no longer in the palace, she does not have right to tell you what to do or what not to do. And couple with the fact that this Queen Naomi we are talking about happens to be the love of your life, happens to be this one person that you love so much. Look at the way they are frustrating themselves, thinking that it is you they are frustrating. That with this thing that Ronke did, Ronke needs to be given a kind of a punishment. She has to face the consequences, because if you don't do anything about it, if you let her go like that, it means other people can come and still do something that is more than that. After all, they'll be doing 1 or 2 things, but that this one that they did, they have to face she has to face the consequences. And they said, she told Ooni that this thing that happened is not a good thing. That Queen Naomi, for one, that they all need Queen Naomi back in the palace, and Queen Naomi must return to the palace of Ooni of Ife. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for standing by. I love you all. I appreciate you. God bless you till I come your way again. Bye for now.